Less than 2 weeks ago, when we had the Eid al-Adha here where I live in Norwich in the UK, we were buying our sheep for £90. Our sacrificial animals for £90 a sheep, and some for more than that. So a dinar could buy one sheep. And of course, £180, if you could, bargain or find the right person, you might be able to get away with two for a dinar. And still maybe if you, perhaps if you go to the right place, you could sell another one for a dinar. So still in over 1,400 years, zero inflation on the gold dinar. It still has the same buying power. Whereas the paper money loses value from one day to the next, one month to the next, one day to the next, and so on. And this is why so many people, if you like, the economists and others, if you like, many of them who have an insight. When we say this thing like the staff of Musa, for some of them, when you throw down the gold dinar, it becomes clear to them. They say this is truth, and that is falsehood, and they'll get it. They get it very quickly. And then you find more and more people in the financial sector are calling on people to reinstate gold in some way. They don't necessarily get the whole picture. They're talking about gold standard, but they're getting it. What we can't afford is that, Allah has given us, for the Muslims, we can't afford not to get it. So anyway, that was one of the things. What was the other thing? Inflation. Suddenly, seemingly more money is chasing the same amount of goods. Prices go up, meaning the value of your currency has gone down. That is why we have inflation, because money is printed today by the millions or trillions, whatever, that I don't even know what these days. More money into the economy, chasing the same amount of goods and even services. Prices must go up. Even with Islamic history, there'll be so many times when people have begun to trade with receipts. And always the authority has stepped in to say, no, stop this. From the earliest times, stop this, because it leads to riba. It opens the door to riba. Right? So they've always been ordered, give them back. Reverse the transactions. Paper cannot be money. You cannot transfer a debt. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Sufi writes, my teacher, thus we can now confirm two important facts. Neither the Osmanli Dawlat nor the Mughal Empire was ever defeated militarily. Kemalism was a coup d'etat achieved in the bankruptcy following the forced exile of Sultan Abdulhamid Khan II. Britain, under the Flowery Empire, seized India by a simple coup d'etat. Each of these violent transitions was preceded by the total fragmentation of the society's trade and fiduciary system. This was achieved by two practices: the abolition of an intrinsic value metals currency and the imposition of paper money, which we've talked about, and the introduction of usury into every transaction. The thing about the pillars, every pillar has its nature. Zakat has its nature. When you do it properly, you see the nature of it. Going on the Hajj, you see the secrets of the Hajj when you go on the Hajj. By fasting, you see the secrets and the nature of it. And Zakat has its nature. Zakat is something we have to look at. It's very important. And gold and silver play a part. Authority plays a part. Local distribution and collection plays a part. If these things are missing, then we've lost the nature of Zakat. It's almost like saying we'll do Ramadan but outside of the month. To summarize, as it were, paper money is haram. The banking system itself is all haram based on riba. If we claim darura, it can only be temporary, and we have to be doing something to change our situation. Islamic banking is a con, and even worse than normal banking because of the additional deliberate deception involved. As Sheikh Amal Abdalhakim often says when people ask him about Islamic banking, is it haram? He says no, it's haram, haram, haram. Because of the money it uses and the deception it uses. Zakat on monetary wealth must be paid in gold and silver and cannot be paid in paper money, even if you pay zakat on paper money. You cannot pay it in paper money. And I said if you claim darura, it's fine, but you have to be doing something to get off that situation. Gold dinars and silver dirhams are being minted across the world to Sharia standards stipulated by the World Islamic Mint. In the UK, gold dinars and silver dirhams are available. And you can check irongold.com, AYNGOLD, irongold.com to see current prices. So now we finally, in a sense, built a platform for gold. We built a platform for it. And as I said before, by dealing with gold, it's as though we're building the ark. We're building on dry land. So if we use it properly. So the call to action, I want to finish with a clear call to action. But before that, I know there will be many people who say that, what I'm saying is not true. Read for yourself the fatwa on banking. It's clearer than I can say it. Read it. It's available on the Zakat Pages website, zakatpages.com. You can download it from there. Read Sheikh Umar videos, fatwa on banking. You see all the evidence you like, see all the proofs. It's clear. And remember that it's difficult. A lot of ulama, even today, remember there are ulama today who are still sanctioning. The same names keep coming up, sanctioning all these so-called Islamic contracts. Right? Either they are enemies of the deen, or at best they just don't understand. Some of them don't really understand what a credit card is or how it works. What is this call to action? What are the things that we can do at this point? Each of us should turn all or some of our savings into gold or silver. That's turning away from the banks. So you're turning away from riba. You're doing something. You're turning away from riba. Right? Turn all or some of your savings into gold or silver. To accept gold and silver, particularly dinars and dirhams, gold, dinars and silver dirhams in particular, for payment of any goods and services. So any of us who sell goods or services, make it clear that we will accept payment in gold, dinars or silver dirhams, or other gold and silver. And particularly if you're putting some of your savings into gold and silver, then it means they go straight into your savings. And of course you can use them to pay your zakat. Always make a thing, when we're doing business with a Muslim, particularly with Muslims, say, will you accept the gold dinar or silver dirham? At least ask the question. Let it become a common question to ask. Let the other person have to say no. Put pressure on local Muslim leaders to collect and distribute zakat locally in dinars and dirhams. Put pressure on them. Say, we will support you. Collect it in gold and silver. Distribute it locally. But someone take authority. Not a Muslim charity. They may back it up, a Muslim charity for legal purposes and so on. But let one person take authority. Let that be their authority to say, I collect zakat and I distribute it under my authority and I appoint zakat collectors. Something I've been involved with for several years here in Norwich. And we're a pretty small Muslim community, and it still has a great impact, much less in some of the bigger cities. Take on as a project the aim to establish large open markets under Muslim authority, free of charge to traders. Can you imagine the impact locally? The Muslims are providing trading spaces where local people can come and trade free of charge. It tackles unemployment, tackles all kinds of social issues. And again, you may, on the Zakat Pages website or opentrade.org.uk or zakatpages.com, you'll find articles about this that tell you more about this. And so that's something for the Muslim activist to do. If you're a Muslim activist who wants to see the deen established, you have to take on this issue of the market. So that's something for the Muslim activist. Insist that our ulama teach these issues, muamalat issues. We have to insist that our ulama teach issues of muamalat and not just the ibadat. And we have to encourage and facilitate the setting up of awqaf to support these things. And we have all these people talking about fighting the military and all these things, turning away from the financial system that supports the American military machine, the European military machine, the financial system underwrites it all. Turning away from it is a bigger blow than any bomb you could give. And as I said, by turning away from it and doing these things I've mentioned, it's building the ark, the ship of Noah on dry land, because the banks must collapse. The system has got its collapse built into it. So we have to build the ark on dry land. We have to have faith. We have to have iman. We have to believe that what Allah has instructed us is permissible. That the halal is permissible, is doable. We have to do these things. We're building the ark. And in the meantime, we're also throwing down the staff of Musa by throwing down the gold dinar against the paper money. So may Allah give us success with that. And I've always been asked to mention a sort of bibliography, but I'll just mention a book for me that in my early days as a Muslim, which opened up the understanding of the deen to me, Root Islamic Education by Sheikh Al-Bukhari Al-Murabit, time. The Fatwa on Banking I mentioned by Sheikh Umar Badio. Zakat Raising a Fallen Pillar, which I co-wrote with Sheikh Abdalhakim many years ago. And all these links that you can get through the Zakat Pages website, zakatpages.com, and then the Iron Gold website, irongold.com, for those interested, particularly in the UK, in maybe obtaining dinars or dirhams, gold dinars or silver dirhams, or finding out more. So I ask, please forgive me for, obviously I know I would have made many mistakes in what I've said, what I've quoted, but not mistaken in the tone of what I said, and what I've said about Islamic banking and how awful it is, and that we have to get involved with these matters. So forgive me for the many mistakes that I've made. Overlook that, please, and just look at the gist of what I said in the content, and take this opportunity to research more. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum.